how long until Kenny Pickett takes over. And I feel like there's a reason that the sports books have him as one of the favorites to an offensive rookie of the year. So what are we expecting from Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think the ideal thing for Steeler fans would be that Kenny doesn't play at all, because that means Mitch is doing something good and the Steelers are having a good year. The patience is going to be really thin, as I mentioned. I mean, there's chance of Kenny throughout the stadium already in the preseason. And the minute Mitch trips up, and I mean, let's just look at the first three games. You know, you go to Cincinnati, the defending AFC champs. You have New England at home. That's been that thorn in the side for decades, even though they don't have Tom Brady anymore. And then you go to Cleveland. Yeah, no, just Sean Watson, but Cleveland still got some pretty good players, and you're going there on a Thursday night. I think he gets those three games, regardless of outcome. After that, if, you know, the Steelers are 1-2, or, you know, he's just been real bad and they've squeaked out a win, I think that's the point where you might see Kenny Pickett, barring injury. I don't think you would see it before that, because Mike Tomlin's pretty patient with those type of things, even though we haven't seen it from the quarterback, but we're trying to judge it by other positions. And normally he gives players a couple of games to kind of settle what they're going to be. And I think he'd do that with quarterback too.
Jeff, how good has George Pickens looked in camp? Because everything I see and hear is that he's going to be an absolute stud. In fact, he's tied now with Kenny Pickett at 9-1 to win Rookie of the Year at BetMGM. So I'm not the only one who's noticed him.
No. And I tell you what, every year in training camp for every team, I think you see receiver hype, because guys go through drills without hitting, and they make these spectacular catches when they know they're not going to get hit. And you see these reports of, oh, so-and-so is this great receiver. Oh, so-and-so is going to have a breakout year. And then most of the time it doesn't happen, because eventually they do get hit and they do drop passes because they're either afraid or not fast enough or whatever. This guy has been an exception. He has been making combat catches. He runs crisp routes. I remember the first time that Mitch Trubisky ran a 2-minute drill, the first 5 passes he threw were to George Pickens. Like, he didn't even look anywhere else. And it wasn't one of those where, hey, let's test this guy. It was I want to show that I'm going to win this job, so I'm going to go to the guy I really trust. And it was the rookie. He's done a lot right. There's been a couple of highlights out here of him pancaking defensive backs on blocks. Like, the guy is a complete package. And I'd say this, if it wasn't for the ACL injury last year, he would have been a first-round pick. And, you know, the talk around here is they got a first-round pick in the second round.